Hey, what's going on, guys? Matt Holzaffel, Elon University, and one-on-one sports class of 2019. Jared asked me to make a little video giving some advice and also offering my congratulations on you guys. First of all, to our seniors who graduated. I know this spring semester might not have been exactly what you thought it was going to be, but we roll with the punches, right? You made it. Congratulations. I was able to watch some of you guys' episodes this year. Really, really good stuff. I'm really proud of you. That goes for both the seniors and the underclassmen, everyone who's been working or put any amount of effort into one-on-one sports this year. You guys did a really, really great job. I remember when I came on campus, one of the things that appealed to me most about one-on-one was not only how it felt like a family, but also how involved they let people get. So the more involved you get, the more you put into this organization, the more you get out of it. And I've really seen that in my time with the people that were below me and people that are still there now that I'm gone. So I'm really proud of you guys. I know you guys are keeping it as one of the top organizations at Elon. I'm really proud of you guys. For the seniors, I know spring wasn't exactly what you thought it was going to be like, and that's okay. It's not your ideal senior spring, I know, but the main thing is that you did it, and this will always be a story you can tell down the line to your coworkers, to your family, to your kids one day about how you made it through this pandemic in your senior spring. And in the end, we'll laugh about it when we're older. I want to give a couple pieces of advice. First, to the underclassmen and the people who will still be at Elon in the fall of 2020 and moving on. The first one is find what you love and work hard in it, right? For some of you, that's one on one, and that's great. For some of you, it's multiple things. Find something that makes you happy that you can work hard in. Because in a perfect world, we all have a job where we work hard and we love what we do and we can get paid for. That's the ideal, right? For many people, that doesn't happen. You get hobbies on the side that you enjoy doing, you have a job that you do on the other side, but they don't really mix that much. For people in sports media and media in general, there is a rare opportunity to make those two things intersect. And that's what we're looking at right now, right? So find something you love, whether that's live broadcasting, radio, pre recorded shows like one on one, research. If you like one on one, but you don't like being on camera, things behind the camera, things like that. Find something you love and be the best at it. And that's how you can turn your dream of working in an industry that you love to work in into a reality. The second piece of advice I can give you is be as involved as possible, right? It's so easy to spend all your time in one organization and say, oh, I've got class in this organization, that takes all my time. At Elon, they really, really push students to be as involved as possible. And while it may seem stressful a lot, looking back now as almost over a year out of school, I'm so glad they did that, right? The more experience, and not only classroom experience, personal experience, and professional experience you come out of school with, the better off you will be in the real world when you start applying for jobs. The last piece of advice I have for our underclassmen, freshmen, sophomores, and juniors is this: make connections. And that I don't just mean in person. So, yes, trade numbers with the seniors who are leaving if you haven't already. Talk to them, see what their plans are, get their numbers, and keep that line of communication open as long as possible. What I have noticed in the professional world so far is that the Elon Alumni Network is far and away more valuable and not bigger, but it feels bigger than almost any other school because there are so many alumni in so many different industries, especially in the media and journalism and communications industries, that are willing to help you. So the ones that you've met along the way, keep those numbers, keep those lines of communication open. The ones you haven't met, reach out to them. If you've met me and you don't have my phone number, reach out to me and I'll give it to you. If you've never met me and you don't have my phone number, reach out to me and I'll be glad to give it to you and give you advice or anything like that when it comes to life or professional working or anything like that, because the Elon Alumni Network is so strong and that's part of the Elon experience you're getting. So make sure you take advantage of that as much as possible. All right, for my seniors, like I said, I know senior spring wasn't exactly what you envisioned it to be, and that's okay. But here's my advice to you as you are now graduated from Elon University, entering the professional world. My first piece of advice is this: say yes. And here's what I mean by that. I'll give you an example. I am a reporter and an anchor in my literally still my first year of my contract at a TV station. It'd be so easy for me to say, I don't care about XYZ, so I'm not going to do it. I don't care about what, this is happening in local news. No. I've had my news director and my other reporters and anchors and producers come to me so many times and say, can you do this? And in the 9.5 months I've been here, I have not said no once. And has there been things that I didn't enjoy doing? Absolutely. But because you say yes, you build that reputation of someone who will do whatever needs to be done. And then you do more and more things you don't enjoy, you get to do more and more things that you do enjoy. And you become somebody who doesn't say no. And that isn't only valuable in your current job. When you go to apply for your next job, and that next director or that manager or boss or whoever calls your current employer, the first thing they're going to say about you is, well, he always said yes, or she always said yes. And that is huge because you're not somebody who has an ego, right? You put your employer, whether that's a TV station or anyone, before yourself. So always say yes as much as possible, even if it would make you uncomfortable, because I promise you will not regret it. The second thing is rely on your connections. Like I was just saying, you made all those connections in college. If you haven't, start making them. It's not too late. Rely on them. Reach out to people who've been in the industry longer than you, no matter what industry that is, and ask what you can be doing better. Ask for feedback because there are so many people who are so willing to give it. It would be a mistake to not reach out to them and ask for it. So reach out to people that you've talked to before. Reach out to people you've never talked to and ask for their advice on what you can do better in so many different fields, and I guarantee you they'll be so glad to help because that's what Elon is about, helping other people succeed. The third piece of advice, be patient. When I graduated Elon, did I see myself moving to Great Falls, Montana for my first job in TV? Of course not. Does anybody envision themselves moving to Great Falls, Montana? I doubt it. But here's the thing. Your first job leads to your second job. Maybe that's in a better city, better market, better wherever. Your second job leads to your third job. All of a sudden, you're in a city you always wanted to be in. And then maybe your fourth and fifth job, your network, and you're moving up there. Be patient. It's hard to hear because everyone wants to, at least if you're in sports media, you want your first job to be at ESPN, right? That's the dream. But there's an equivalent for that in every industry. Your first job is not going to be NFL analyst at ESPN. I'm sorry to tell you that. If no one told you that before, I'm telling you that now. But you can get there. Be patient, take what's available, and work hard because it is easy to get there. It's a clear path. So many industries don't make sense in the terms of how you move up the ladder, right? There's indiscriminate amounts of time, locations, branches, etc. In the media industry, it's very clear. You start in a lower market, you work hard, all you need is experience. It is so experience driven that patience and hard work is so important, and you'll get that experience. And then your next job will be better. You'll get experience there, which is worth even more because it's a higher market, because you worked harder, because you broke bigger stories and stuff like that. And this is equivalent for other industries, not just journalism. It's the same thing. You work harder in the smaller markets, you get where you want to be. You work harder in those markets, you get where you want to be even more. It's a repetitive cycle. And I can't stress enough how important it is to be patient. And like my first piece of advice, say yes and work hard. My last piece of advice I have for you graduating seniors is make mistakes. One of the beautiful parts of working in such a small market here and working my way up is that the mistakes, while people see them, it's okay. It is forgivable. You make a mistake here, you correct it. It's almost a good thing because you learn from it, right? In higher markets, in higher jobs, and higher level positions in any industry, mistakes are less forgivable, right? And your first couple of years out of college, make mistakes and learn from them. The mistake is not making the mistake. The mistake is making the mistake and not learning from it. So make the mistakes, learn from them, write them down if that makes it easier for you. Say, here's what happened today. Here's why it happened. Here's what I can do better. And I promise you, you will see yourself improve over time. It's a tried and true formula that will benefit you and everyone you work with and who you aspire to be as a professional and a person. The last thing I'll say before I sign off is, like I mentioned earlier, I got a chance to watch some of you guys' shows this year. They were really, really good. And I could not be more proud of the brand you have carried on for one-on-one. As I mentioned, it always spoke to me as an organization that was both family and fun, and also puts out, in my opinion, the best student media product at Elon. And I know that you guys continue to carry that on, and I'm so proud and so happy to see where it will go down the line. So congratulations to all the seniors. I'm so proud of you, and I cannot wait to see where you guys end up. If you want to connect with me in any way, feel free to reach out to Jared. If you don't have my phone number, he can pass it along to you. I'm always happy to give advice, personal advice, professional advice, any type of that, whether you're in the journalism industry or not, whether you want to be the next anchor of SportsCenter or you want to be a musician in Nashville. Whatever you're looking for, reach out to people because they're willing to help. So congratulations, guys, and roll Phoenix.
Hey everybody, it's your favorite Knicks fan here, Evan. This isn't exactly how I expected my senior speech to go for one-on-one sports, but here we are. It's unprecedented times, and we're going along with it. But I'm happy to do this. Happy to be able to talk to you guys, and I miss you all. I can't believe this is how it's ending, but it is. One-on-one sports has been just so important to me throughout my time at Elon. It's really shaped my Elon experience. It's the first organization I joined when I came to Elon, and it's the first organization that brought me in with open arms, starting with like Ellie Whittington. Ellie, thank you for telling me about one-on-one and telling me how great of an organization it is. I know how much you love it, and it's really torn off of me and how much I love it. So going based off of that, I've really made an incredible group of friends at Elon through one-on-one sports, starting with the seniors from my freshman year, like Larry Salvucci. He was huge in helping me learn and develop my skills and become a better person. He was just an awesome person to talk to, and I'm appreciative of that. And Megan Podgorski, she was huge for me in learning how to direct. We clashed at times, never really agreed and stuff, but I learned a lot from her, and she's huge in how I'm able to direct and see things on camera. And Alex and Jenny, you guys are huge for me. You guys were my producers. I love you guys. You guys really made me love one-on-one sports and, become a better person in general, not just a better producer, director, or on-air personality. And talking about that, actually, it's you guys who really pushed me to have that on-air personality, to go on air. I never wanted to. I was always scared. I was always shaking whenever I was going on air. And so you guys always gave me the confidence, told me how to improve, how to get better, how to be myself on camera, and it made me better. It makes me more comfortable just to be able to talk and be myself in public. So one-on-one has been important to me there as well. Plus, you guys have had to deal with a lot of Knicks rants when they weren't really due. Speaking of that, I'll always be the number one Knicks fan around one-on-one sports. Nobody's going to take that title away from me. Nobody else has been called the Unicorn based off of the Knicks' best player in the organization. So thank you for that nickname, Mason. But I've had a lot of fun being able to just talk sports, talk basketball, talk Knicks with all of you guys. You guys have accepted me as much as you guys have roasted me for my Frank Ntilikina love and the Knicks. But you guys have all been there for me, which I appreciate. And moving on here to Jared. Jared, organization's in great hands with you. Can't even imagine a better person to lead one-on-one to an Emmy. I know you're going to be able to do it. Especially with all the talent that we have in this organization right now, with all the freshmen, it's incredible. I can't wait to see what happens. Can't wait to see the Emmy that's going to be sitting in the comm school with one-on-one sports names on it and with all you guys to credit. And in the end, it's the love of sports that brought us all together. We wouldn't be in this organization if we all didn't love sports and love talking about it and debating and arguing. It makes us all friends. It makes us all connect to one another. And especially during a time like right now through the pandemic, the protesting and the riots, it's important for us all to come together. Now with sports coming back in late July, with the NBA and NHL is coming back, MLB will be coming back sooner than later. It's going to be an exciting time to see what happens in sports, and there's going to be plenty for us to debate, and I'm excited to see what one-on-one sports does with it. And to Brad and Andrew, the last two remaining seniors with me, we did it, guys. We did it. Just want to say that to you guys. Congratulations to Brad and Andrew. We've been here since the beginning together, and I can't wait to see what you guys do. You guys are both going to be incredible on-air personalities. Hopefully I have an opportunity to work with you guys in the future. And lastly, I just want to give a special shout out to Christopher Edwards. He was a big part in me coming to one-on-one and making me feel comfortable. I remember the first time I walked into one-on-one, I was really scared because there's so many upperclassmen, and he just gave me the confidence. He was like, "Hey, Evan, what do you want to do?" I was like, I want to be TD. I didn't think I was going to have the opportunity to do it my first time at one-on-one. He put me right next to Larry, and from then on, I had a great relationship with Chris. He always just boosted me up, made me feel great, and I'm forever grateful for that. You made me a better person, Chris, and I hope that I was able to push what you taught me to the younger generation when I had the opportunity to. I miss you, Chris. But to that, goodbye, one-on-one sports. Thank you for everything. You've been amazing to me. Good luck in the future, guys.
Hey everyone. What an absolute blast it's been to be part of such an amazing organization. I can't stress enough how much one-on-one sports help my public speaking skills. I mean, when I came to one-on-one sports, I couldn't throw two sentences together. As a freshman, I was timid and anxious every time, the lights came on. I only like talking about the teams from Massachusetts, which I still do, but I'm usually the devil's advocate and I give him tough love, but couldn't throw two sentences together. I had a tough time having my voice heard, and over time I evolved, matured, worked hard at researching, understood the topics that were being discussed, even the ones that I wasn't a part of. Probably my favorite block ever had to be when we got back week one after the winter break. I think it was sophomore, junior year, the Super Bowl 51 block, where I completely ripped Bill Belichick and Tom Brady a new one for losing that Super Bowl, which they shouldn't have. I'm still salty about that. But I'm sure you guys will put the footage of my nervous itch from our Christmas special about 2 years ago. Blake Snapman really got a kick out of that one. So when you watch that picture, I'm laughing his butt off. More serious note, I'd like to thank a few people in this organization who have been instrumental in the show's continued excellence, who drove me to be my best. I'd like to thank our amazing hosts, Brad and Andrew, for their continued dedication, their continued excellence. We'll miss your takes behind the desk. To Jared, our amazing EP, your dedication to this organization and care for its professionalism, its talent, and crew are commemorable and inspiring. So thank you for being such a great host, such a great EP. Now, to everyone who's worked behind the scenes, from our engineers, the people in the control room, our social media liaisons, as a non-com major, it's amazing to watch and learn from you guys on how to produce a very, very good show. I'm so proud of all of you guys. To all my seniors, I can't wait to see where you all go. We had such a talented and dedicated class of seniors. I'm so proud of our cohort. You guys have really killed it for the past 4 years. So thank you for being so awesome and for making it tough on me to debate you guys. You guys push me a lot. So I just want to thank you all. Cannot wait to watch and see where you guys go. And then to our underclassmen, you guys are all hungry and super talented. I'm so excited to see you guys blossom and grow. I can't wait to watch you guys and where you guys take the organization into the future. Now, it's been a crazy few months, and I just want to wish all of you guys the very best and hope you guys are staying safe through this crazy time. This is my favorite organization on campus, really and truly. And I really can't wait to see what you guys do in the future. So best wishes, stay healthy, long live Elon, and long live one-on-one sports. Thank you.
Four years. A lot can happen in 4 years. 4 years ago, Joel Embiid had yet to play an NBA game. Sashi Brown and the Cleveland Browns are carrying out their version of the process. LeBron was a Cav. Kawhi was a Spur. The Rams played in St. Louis. The Chargers played in San Diego. 4 years ago, I joined one-on-one sports. And in those 4 years, with all those things I just mentioned, Patrick Mahomes had never played an NFL game. And in the wrestling world, the letters AEW held no meaning. Put all together, a lot can happen in 4 years. And in my 4 years here with one-on-one sports, that was truly the case. here with 101 Sports, I was able to do everything that there really is or was to do. I was a host, I was a show talent, I was a segment producer, I was an associate producer, I was an executive webcast producer. I did it all. I was able to pitch topics and formats of segments before shows, write reads for segments, you name it. I got to do a lot with 101 Sports. And I was able to improve so much as an individual in a leadership sense, in a project management sense, and really became an individual who valued and cared about this organization to a very strong extent, to the point where now here, as a graduate, I was the longest tenured member of the organization this year. And in looking at my 4 years, 101 Sports provided what everyone looks for in college and in life, and that's a group where they find their people. And for me, that was 101 Sports in my time at Elon. I look at my 4 years, and there are certain people that really had a strong impact on me. And there's so many people that I worked with in 101 Sports, and producers and co-talent, that there's so many to thank. But there are a couple that I wanted to specifically mention. When I joined 101 Sports as a freshman, Chris Edwards was one of the executive producers. The late, great Chris Edwards really made me feel comfortable and at home with 101 Sports, pushed me to be better than I thought I could be, and was the person who was really the driving factor behind me becoming a producer only in my freshman year. Chris was a great voice for 101 Sports. He was great as a mentor to myself and other young talent at the time, and I miss Chris very much. Dominic Vernazzo. I can remember many a time sitting at the desk with Dom, yelling and debating about anything that was going on. Even I can remember the never-aired segment where Dom and I's debate, we'll call it, on DeMarcus Cousins being traded from Sacramento to New Orleans devolved into yelling, and current ESPN employee Larry Salvucci refused to put it on the show. Thankfully so. That was a train wreck. I was able to be the lead analyst, along with Dom, hosted at the desk by Mason Stahl for the 2018 NFL Draft first-round live coverage. As a draft nerd, that was a dream come true, and I can still remember the nerdy excitement I had when the Steelers picked then projected to be a second-round pick Terrell Edmunds in the late first round. You can go back and watch that here on YouTube. I was jumping for joy, getting to explain about this prospect that we did not plan to have information for coming into that draft as far as graphics were concerned and whatnot. But really, I would really like to thank and mention 3 specific people who made my 101 Sports experience how great and as good as it was. Matt Holzappel. Matt Holzappel graduated last year, currently working in Montana as an anchor, as a reporter. Matt was great, and he was an instrumental part of my time with 101 Sports. Andrew Vendelis, who was my co-host for this past year, and someone who in my time at Elon I considered to be a very good friend of mine. We became friends in our freshman year, and it grew very strongly over these last couple of years. Andrew's a great person. I loved being able to host with him. And lastly, our current executive producer, Jared Bunder, who affectionately we will refer to as Jawn. Shout out to Philadelphia. But the most enjoyable thing I had here with 101 Sports was being able to be a mentor, a guiding figure, and helping hand for a young talent. The young talent here at 101 Sports, that's what's going to drive this show moving forward. That is the lifeline and the blood of this show. I look at the current crop of young talent we have, and I think that the future of 101 Sports is in incredibly great hands. And if I were to summarize my entire 101 Sports experience, it would be fun and an inclusive family that I was able to grow professionally, personally, and develop strong friends both in the studio and in life that I will carry forward with me now that my time at Elon has ended. Although I won't be sitting at the desk anymore, sitting with Cole talking about NFL free agency, doing a live analysis for a draft show, or speaking the virtues of Sam Hinkie in the Sixers process, I will always remember my time at 101 Sports and genuinely cherish and remember fondly all of the memories that I created. And to sign off, and in a message to send to everybody during these times where I hope everyone is safe, everyone is healthy, I would like to quote famous basketball hardwood philosopher and former Process Sixer Tony Roten in simply saying, trust the process. Thank you.
it's really hard to say goodbye to something that has taken up 4 years of your life, and not just something that is an extracurricular activity or another show on Elon's network, but as cheesy as you want to say, it was my life. For the better part of my time at Elon, I would be behind the desk getting the chance to debate with the very best that Elon has to offer, and arguably any university has to offer when it comes to the talent. So my first thanks wants to go out to everyone who I've worked with so far or had the privilege to bicker against, or, when tempers flare up or something like that. Thank you for challenging me as a person. Thank you for challenging me as a commentator, as a broadcaster. And I think we all benefited from it, because I could not be more proud of the talent we have that have come and gone, and that we have that are getting ready to take over. And my message to the new guys, and I'm going to get this out of the way first, is this organization is yours for the taking. I know I said that before our last meeting, or during our last meeting when we didn't know what was going to happen, but I'll say it again because it's just as relevant. This is for you guys to take. Make this show what you want, and I feel like we can win an Emmy with the talent we have, because I think we're that damn good. But thank you guys once again for challenging me. I never really had much aspiration to be a host. Journalism, I knew I wanted to do like play-by-play and stuff like that, and that was great. But honestly, it's just more fun behind the desk. I got to give a thank you to Chris Edwards. He was the person who got me into the organization when I was a freshman in the fall. I couldn't do TV. I had a class or something like that. And he just said, hey, man, come on radio. Come prepared. I remember I took it so seriously. I brought like 2 pages of notes with me to radio, and I was ready. And it was even better than I could have prepared for, because I didn't need those notes. We were just having a discussion. We were just having a talk. And Chris and Jenny, who were the first people I really got to, do a one-on-one thing with, they really got me hooked, and the rest was history. I got to give another shout out to Matt Holzaffel, my co-host last year, and one of my best friends at Elon. Man, dude, if you told me that, I would be hosting with you freshman year, and I had no idea who you were, and that you would become not only one of my best friends, but one of my inspirations at Elon as a commentator, I would have said, this guy's crazy. I just, see him. He's doing his own thing. He's pretty freaking good. But over the past 3 years that we had to host together, the 2 years that we got to host together, I just learned so much from you, and you challenged me. You pushed me to my limit every time. You out-prepared me every time, but I knew you did that to bring me up and make me a better commentator, and I can only hope that I did the same for you. And to echo your statement from last year's speech, I'll say I'll see you at ESPN, buddy. Come down to Nashville sometime. But I got to thank all the producers I've worked with, and the people in leadership positions who had faith in me, and vice versa, and had faith in this organization. Alex Harris, Jenny Berman, Chris Edwards, Stu, Larry, thank you for telling me that I'm going to be a host one day, because, dude, I did it. I hope I made you proud. I'll see you at ESPN maybe one day. But Kelsey, Drew Gentry, Evan Abenstein, Evan Piercy, and last but not least, I got to thank the 2 people who through this past year had really, brought this organization a new, fresh energy of life, and given the young talent something to look up to in Brad Klier and Jared Bunder. I'll start with you, Bunder. You're so freaking smart, and you know that. I just want you to be able to bring this organization back to Emmy status, because if anyone can lead this team in the future, it is you, man. You have 2 more years to just grow and learn. And my advice, listen. I know it's going to kill you, but you got this, man. You're the right guy. I think you need to keep being the best example of what an executive producer for one-on-one should be. And that brings me to Brad. Brad, dude, we had Global together spring freshman year, and he made like some weird wrestling reference, and I caught up on it, and he was like, oh my God. And that's how Brad and I became friends. And now flash forward to 3 years later, and we're hosting together. Dude, I gotta thank you for your support, for your tough love, for your love of wrestling, your love of sports. You are an encyclopedia of sports knowledge and an animal behind the desk. And I hope our paths cross someday again, man, and we get to watch a WrestleMania together. This is going on for 5 minutes already, but I just gotta say thank you guys so much for giving me a home at Elon. And I can say that about a couple other places, but one-on-one was genuinely the most fun I've ever had doing sports and talking. And what I used to do, I used to call out the Ravens numbers whenever my dad would take me to tailgates as a little kid and stuff like that. And never in my wildest dreams did I think I would be able to host the show. But I just want to say thank you, and I'm going to miss this. And this isn't goodbye. It's a see you later. Come down to Nashville. Let's hang out. And I hope to see you guys. Remember, this show is yours for the taking. Let's make it a good one. And until next time, whose side are you on?
Coming up on this episode of One-on-One Sports,
We tackled the XFL's opening weekend
see who's up for grabs in the upcoming NHL trade deadline.
and take a look at the potential MLB postseason changes.
All that and so much more
And it all starts.
right now.
Are we doing the establishing?
You said it was too. I wanna talk sports and get out of here so I can drink.
Just take. Let me in.
She goes, we did? Oh, good.
The Lakers are a fat dumpster fire right now. Pretend I have a lighter right here and light it and just light everything that's in this garbage can right now.
The long-awaited start of the NHL season is upon us, and our hockey experts Andrew Vendelis and Klier are here to tell us how the season is going to go down.
Experts Josh Toback and Evan Abenstein, as we're going to break down the recent big injuries in the NBA.
With that in mind, I'm here with Zach and Christian to discuss the biggest news surrounding Selection Sunday.
I think it's the MMA experience, the marketability, and recognizability that she has to a mainstream audience. I think should be very similar to what Brock Lesnar is. In the
Exactly.
men's
I was going to build off of that and say that she is going to be the Brock Lesnar of the women's division.
100%.
And her fame transcends women's wrestling or WWE or even professional wrestling. In general, it's a pop culture phenomenon,
Exactly.
with Ronda Rousey arguably bringing the most mainstream audience to WWE in the past decade.
Like you saw when she debuted, there's articles on ESPN, Yahoo, CBS Sports,
Everywhere.
Fox, wherever.
Right.
You're not getting that from anyone.
Christian, this year, Choi Min-jung won her first gold medal in the women's 1500 meters at just age 19. Is she the future of this sport?
She is. She's an unbelievable athlete. She dominated singles, won the gold obviously, and she is the anchor for the 3,000 meter relay this year, which is really interesting, and that's happening later in the Olympics. She's already won 7 world championships, and she's only 19 years old. 3 of which was 2 years ago in Seoul. She's just absolutely unreal.
There's so many big men that their careers were hampered by injuries. Greg Oden is a prime example.
He's not
Andrew
Greg Oden,
Bynum,
though.
Yao Ming, he retired at 28 years old. And I mean, he could be an Amari Stoudemire, being a 6-time All-Star throughout all the knee injuries. But I just think it's too little too late. He's had too many injuries, and it's just not looking good, especially
very
with
young,
coming
though.
down this season.
Since she came back, everyone's like, oh, she's going to be Serena of old. She's ready to go. Obviously,
She's just not.
She even said that herself,
Yeah,
right?
she's not what she is going. She's not at her fullest capabilities yet, and it just takes time. She's not really Serena of old. She's not a new Serena. She's just getting
And
back
people
into her
take
stride.
for granted how much it took to be a Serena of old. She was
Agreed,
the best,
agreed.
not just women's tennis player in the world, possibly the best tennis player, just in their respective gender for that.
And if
tennis.
we take it outside of tennis, like I know at the time Ronda Rousey was the the most popular female athlete in the world, but in terms of action, when Ronda Rousey started going downhill, Serena Williams is still at that level. You can make the argument over the last 3-4 years, Serena Williams is the best women's athlete in the entire
whether or
world.
not-
To the Giants.
Well, I just gotta say, there's no other thing to describe it. I'm sorry. Injuries to Odell Beckham Jr., Brandon Marshall.
Is Eli in that? Is he
Yeah,
in that?
Eli, where are you? All right, I just gotta say they're 28th in points per game, 29th in rush yards allowed, 26 in yards per game.
They're crap.
It's a mess.
They're
and
crap.
Fingers are being pointed everywhere. Nobody knows who
They're
to
crap.
Evan,
Who has the best beard in sports? And if you say Mitchell Robinson, I will walk off the set.
No, we're going to go with, actually, Ronny Turioff. He hasn't played in the NBA since probably 2012, 2013. But he played with the Knicks in 2015. And, I mean, that beard was just, it was
luscious.
It was majestic.
Who is your MVP, Christian?
I would have to go with DeAndre Hunter. He had his best 2 games in the tournament in the first game when they were down 10. He brought them back, and the last game when he had his career high 27 points in the championship game. He had the 3 descended into overtime. He had giant threes, like one in the right in the last few seconds, the last second, and a big 3 in overtime to put them ahead. And shout out to Jarrett Culver. I mean, he's the reasons why Texas Tech was in the finals to begin with.
Who is your number 1?
Oh, easily Jason Kidd. He's the best player from that class. I mean, he's 3rd all-time in triple-doubles. He's 2nd all-time in steals. He's he finished 3rd all-time in three-pointers made when he retired. Now he's 9th all-time. He's been to 2 finals. He has a ring.
I agree. Finally, Defensive Player of the Year. Who is it and why?
So this one, I think, really came down towards the end, but I think it would be Giannis Antetokounmpo. Simply put, the guy can guard all 5 positions at an elite level. You can't really figure out how to game plan when he is guarding you, and other teams can't match up well with their offensive player, with him defending them. I think Rudy Gobert was in the running towards the top for most of the year. I'd have him 2nd. He's just a staunch presence in the paint, makes that Jazz defense function so well.
The prop is a speeding ticket for the Kings going 100 miles per hour. They are first in transition points by a record pace. They're averaging 33 transition points per game. Last year, the Lakers only averaged 24, so 9 points over the record is incredible. It's not sustainable.
Christian, which seeding shocked you the most?
I'm surprised Michigan State didn't get number 1. I mean, they are number 2 seed, but they are phenomenal. I mean, the job that Todd Izzo has done with Michigan State has been great. They are first in points, rebounds, and 3-point percentage in the Big Ten this year, and that's a phenomenal stat. When Duke, if they get that far, if Duke and Michigan State meet up in the Elite 8, that's going to be a great game, and we'll see. It's a tough game for Duke to win. But
Zach,
I feel like he had better teammates throughout his career, and he was.
What do you mean? Steve Nash had Amari Stoudemire, Sean Marion, Joe Johnson. What?
Yeah, I don't feel that way. I feel like Amari Stoudemire was the only real guy that he had right there, and he was going up against a good Kobe Bryant in his prime. I know Jason Kidd was as well, but I'm just saying.
Who did Jason Kidd face in the finals? Exactly.
I mean, yeah, I know. They both had to go against the same people, but I think Jason Kidd had a little bit better of a crew in a...
You can argue in 2011, Jason Kidd wasn't the main part of the finals team. That was clearly Dirk Nowitzki. But without Jason Kidd, they're not winning the finals versus the Heat. His defense was instrumental.
Yeah, but I thought their team was...
For me, Rookie of the Year, it's got to be Ben Simmons. First pick in the draft last year, 6'10", elite in transition, incredible vision and size. Does not have the jump shot. He had triple-double his last game against Washington. Started the year at 20, 10, and 5. The guy is unstoppable and he's a menace with Embiid next to him. It's got to be
Tom, who do you have?
It's funny, a lot of what you said about Ben Simmons actually applies to my pick. Lonzo Ball, also tremendous passing instincts. He's 6'6", he's long for a point guard. His scoring is a little bit questionable, but I think that he's going to have even more opportunity than Embiid, Simmons. And as we know, Rookie of the Year doesn't always go to the best player. It goes to who has the most minutes and opportunities.
Minutes and opportunities, but if you add an elite player next to Ben Simmons, that only accentuates and allows more opportunity for him to get more assists, more points,
but I just think that Lonzo Ball is going to put up bigger raw stats.
You sound like his dad.
Do I? Yeah, I'm me and LeVar in cahoots here.
Two hype men. I just don't see any way that Simmons with the crew around him doesn't win Rookie of the Year. He's by far shown he's the best rookie in these 3 games, much more than Lonzo has.
Who do you guys think going forth in the next 5 to 10 years who is going to lead?
So for me, it's a little bit of a dark horse pick, but I'm going to go De'Aaron Fox. I love his game. I love his mentality. He reminds me a lot of a John Wall. He is lightning quick. He's a leader. He can score. He's a good passer, solid rebounder. I think when we're looking back on this class, I think he develops a jump shot. And
I'm a big De'Aaron Fox guy, too. I like the Sacramento took him. I think he's going to develop well. But going back to Ben Simmons, there's no way it's not Ben Simmons.
Today, we end this Halloween edition of 101 Sports on a somber note, as the Reaper has come for the Arena Football League.
The Arena Football League has suspended all local business operations in its 6 markets amid significant financial difficulties. This unique and different brand of football was exciting and high-scoring, but unfortunately is gone too soon.
May the Arena Football League rest in
Evan, what do you think about the Lakers? What's your prop for them?
The Lakers are a fat dumpster fire right now. Pretend I have a lighter right here and light it and just light everything that's in this garbage can right now, because the Lakers are just, they have a bunch of misfit pieces of players. They have JaVale McGee, they have Lance Stevenson, they just JaVale McGee, I said JaVale already, like it just doesn't fit behind one of the best players in the world to ever play the game. Like why not give them good talent, right? Why not go out and sign good players? They're not winning right now because they don't have the right group of players.
I think we got the point. You can
yeah, the garbage.
That's all the time we have for this episode of One-on-One Sports.
If you like what you saw and would like to keep up with us, please follow us on social media, all at One-on-One Sports.
As always, we'd like to thank our producers, the talent, and our amazing crew. So until next time,
whose side are you on?